Good morning, everyone out there in YouTube land. My name is Jared, and this is my channel, Mazda B3K. In this 5-minute fix, we are going to work on replacing the bulbs that light up the HVAC controls in my 2001 Ford F-250. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so first thing that's got to happen is if you haven't taken out your stock radio, that's got to come out. Mine's already out. You will need the radio removal tool to pull it out. If you have an aftermarket radio, shouldn't be nearly as hard, but that needs to come out. There are 2 screws that are under this panel that we're going to need to loosen. And we got to take the dash out. So for me, since that's already out, what that means for taking the dash out is we need to take our headlight switch out. And to do that, we're going to need a jeweler screwdriver and then just pop it loose. Alright, so jeweler screwdriver, get it in there. Just kind of pop. There it goes. Once you pop it loose, you've got 2 connectors you got to squeeze and then pull out to finish pulling this off. And then once that's done, it's just a bunch of push pins basically that hold the rest of the dash in. And you just have to wiggle it around the shifter and it'll come right off. Okay, I did forget, you're going to have, if you've got four-wheel drive, you got to disconnect that. If not, there's a blank that it slides in. There's another blank down there, and you have to disconnect your power point, your accessory right there. So those do need to come out. And those are all pushed down and pull out. And once that's out, then this panel is free, and then we can work on it. Okay, now we're into the meat and potatoes of things. We have the dash off. So we have, I think there's going to be 8s or 7s, 4 of them either side, and then we're going to need to pull this panel out. In my case, I was fiddling with the bulb that goes about right there, and I dropped it, so I got to find it. But I also know there's a bulb that should go around over here, and that one is burned out for me. So I'm trying to figure out what it is. I think it's a Type 37 bulb, which is this itty bitty bitty little tiny bulb that gets used a lot in the instrument cluster. So we're going to check that out, see what we can find. Okay, let's take a look. So this is our burned out light. This is the one that I was trying to see, couldn't see. I was being lazy and not pulling this out. And this is the one that I have lost. So it has fallen somewhere in there. And I think I'm going to have to drop this. It's another 2 9/32. I'm probably going to have to use, but let's get this out. So this is going to spin. Probably can't get it with my fingers. Maybe I can sneak it out like this. No. Yeah, I'm going to have to use pliers to get that out, but we'll get that out. We'll see what bulb is in there. We'll go from there. Okay, so for our HVAC bulbs, I confirmed they are a Type 37 bulb. So I picked up 2 of those. I'm going to replace both. Just need to wiggle the bulb out of its housing there. Pop it out, pop a new one in. You don't have to worry about polarity. You can just stick it in any old way. If you can wear gloves, that's great. If not, make sure you wipe the grease that gets on the bulb from your fingers off on something so it doesn't create a hot spot and burn the bulb out later. Okay, so with your HVAC panel out, you've got 2 spots to put a bulb in. There's one, there's the other. Just insert it, and to lock it, you're going to turn it to the right. And you may not be able, with your fingers, to get it fully turned. And so what I'm going to do is take some pliers and get it to lock in position. But get it there, and then we can start reassembly. So just screw it all back in, put the dash back in, put the headlight control panel back in, and then we can hit the lights and see what it's going to look like. Alrighty, so I went ahead before putting the paneling back in as I reconnected this so we can put it in park mode, and we can take a look here, see if we're all lit up. And yes, as you can see now, before you wouldn't be able to see this. You wouldn't be able to see the green at all because it was very, very dim, because the only thing that was lighting up was the bulb back here. But now we've got green on both. That tells me both bulbs are lighting up. So this is a good repair. We'll go ahead and finish putting it all back together. So remember, as we go to put this panel back on, we have to reconnect all of this electrical. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Reach. So that's going to be your power point right there. And then for me, since this is a simple trim package, okay, that's going to slide into a blank right there. And then I'm going to have to move this around a bit, but for me, there's another blank right here that I need to insert. And I think this actually is the factory trailer wiring that I have discovered. Because most folks, what they'll do when they install a brake balance controller is they'll stick it right here. And then just, because this wiring's right here and it's convenient. But that's going to be another video for another day, because I don't have a brake balance controller yet. So this guy's going to go back here. And we're going to plug in that blank and finish getting this over the wheel, around the shifter, and then remember, we get it after everything's back on. This has to be plugged back in. So make sure that when you're doing your final checkouts that you get this switch back in and you plug it back in. 2 connectors there. Again, I'm leaving my stock radio out. I'm still monitoring the flasher relay, which is inside of here, and I intend to put in an aftermarket unit, so I'm not reinstalling my radio. I did want to show you this, these hoops here. This is the official radio removal tool. You can pick them up at your local auto parts store. There's 2 of them. What they do, if you look at the side here, is they push these tabs in so that the radio slides out. That's what it's supposed to be. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you get a fight on your hands, but that's what's supposed to happen. I really don't like the system. I much prefer what the aftermarket guys do. Generally some screws inside of a bracket. But anyway, we are back in, and this is a good repair. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this 5-minute fix where we replaced a burnt out backlight bulb for the HVAC controls on my 2001 Ford F-250 Miss Mildew. So please leave a comment. I like to read them. I like to reply to them. I like to learn from them. Please also like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do the fun YouTube things. It really does help the channel to grow. To give you some idea here, I've been doing this for almost 2 years. I've got almost 8,000 watch hours and less than 400 subs. So, for this channel to monetize so I can go out and start doing other things and buy better tooling so I can bring better content for you guys, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, because I can't get better without help from you guys, and I really do enjoy doing this and getting the content up. So if you have already subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't, please take a moment, click a subscribe button somewhere, either in the video, below the video, somewhere, anywhere. It helps me out. And with all that said, I'll see you guys next episode. Wanted to give you guys a better demonstration here than earlier. So there we are. Before I replaced the light, you couldn't see that. You could see that sort of, and you could see this fine because the light on the left was okay. Light on the right was busted, but now it looked pretty good. So I'm happy.